Hello, this is Elaine Cahill and this is my submission for Homework 6, Big Data Analytics Fall 2021 at East Carolina University. I've chosen to present Power BI as I have been meaning to look at it for some time now. By the end of the talk, I hope I've convinced you to see that it is something you should be aware of and that you can use it for big data. According to TrustRadius, the Power BI has a third of the market share amongst other similar software applications, and they're competitive because Power BI is a Microsoft offering, and the obvious competitors are Google Data Studio, IBM Cognos, Amazon QuickSight. I put Tableau on there because that is the one that you just hear about a lot, user groups and things like that. Let's have a quick look at some real world examples. So I like this customer story where Miami Heat are using it. It says in the quote, they've moved way beyond spreadsheets. And so the insights gained from looking at their data in a different way as reduced operational costs and given a 30% increase in season ticket sales. And so what more could a business ask than for reduced costs or increased sales? A nice government example that I like, Washington's Fish and Wildlife Department. It talks about, the CIO here talks about the ability of Power BI to ingest analytics directly into Microsoft Teams. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And again, they've cited cost reduction, paper reduction, and I like this egalitarian access to technology, regardless of who they are or how they want to work. And so you can imagine people in this department sometimes being in the office and sometimes no doubt being out in the woods or by a lake and carrying mobile devices with them. So even, sometimes maybe not always offline, online. But I can just picture a ranger stood out with his laptop in the middle of the woods trying to get a signal, but he could still, make use of the device. So how does it work? I felt the best way to find out how it works was to sign up for a free trial. So that was easy enough using my ECU student address there. But then what I realised, as mentioned in the CIO of the Wildlife Department's quotes, it's actually one of the apps in Teams. So, well, you're logged into Teams, you can come down to apps, do a quick search for Power BI, and go ahead and use that directly in Teams. Obviously useful for sharing, and that's the integration that the CIO of the Wildlife Department was talking about. However, what I have done, here I am signed in to the Power BI service, which is like just using the application in the cloud instead of downloading it. This menu bar to the left can be hidden and use the links down here if you need the extra screen space. Can go ahead and do new report right here. We'll do that in a little bit. So I've not favorited anything yet. I assume this would be useful for maybe your daily reports that you look at frequently, or the reports or charts that you look at rarely, but you just want to know that it's there and you can find it easily. Recently, obviously I've been clicking around, trying some things out, and to my lovely inventive title, my report there. So we'll come back to create data sets. These are 2 sample data sets that were there. In fact, let's go back home and look at some of these. I'll tell you what, let's just pick one to do a quick look, because there are all these examples, and the idea is to inspire you, give you ideas, help you know what to do with this tool. So this example is looking at high school athletes' probability of competing in NCAA, and there's an option to move by division there and see the actual data, see it as a data table. And so that's useful, gender and so on. So some of these examples you can click around and drill down. And so now if we look at data sets again, I do believe, no, just waffling, okay, table. Sorry, I shouldn't have that. Right, remember to edit this bit out. Goals. This is very much, I think, a businessy kind of thing. You would, some obvious examples, you know, your manager wants to drive sales and get some marketing metrics going. So that's there, that's useful. Apps, this is interesting. So apps that other people have written that can help you, like little add-ons. I thought I would like to look at the GitHub repository. I could picture myself as a manager or a team member, just wanting to look into the source control, see who's been committing. How much is that getting used? So this is a free one, Power BI by Microsoft. Now this makes sense that it would ask me here, like I would give Microsoft permission to use my GitHub account as a way to, privacy and so on. So you're not just blindly clicking on things. And so but as you can see, there are lots and lots to choose from. And you can COVID tracker, of course, that's very topical at the time of recording this. Nothing shared with me at the moment, obviously. Nobody knows I'm doing this. Lots of links to documentation, the community. Webinars and YouTube channel, obviously, so easy to find place. My workspace is the default workspace. Obviously I've just signed up as me. I'm not connected to any shared workspaces at the moment, but that's a way that you, like for instance, your company might create a workspace for your department or for a particular project, or if you decided to use it in Teams for a group assignment, you could use that workspace feature if you needed to. So I'm going to just show how easy it is. Like some things getting started is sometimes easy. So this example, I thought I would try just simply pasting some data. Now this mtcars CSV is what we used in the Spark lecture, and the only difference I've made is in this column I've given it a column name of make. So that's an example of data cleanup. And it was originally empty on purpose because a task in the Spark lecture was to name that column. So let's see if I do Control-Alt, Control-C. Control V, there we go. I now have that data. Use first row's headers. You don't have to use headers as first row. Delimiter detection, because it's Excel pasting into a Microsoft table. That's cool. Let's call it cars table down here. So you can just create it as the data set. Let's see if I can move that up into the view. There we go. In the create data set only, I don't see what the point of creating a blank report is. So I'm going to auto create again so you can see. It gives you something to start with. Guess my column names don't look quite as expected, and obviously the copy. Again, you can export it back out to Excel, but obviously you won't always have imported it through that, and you can edit the data. So it just throws up some default numbers, but of course with the column names as well, that wasn't very helpful. So maybe I should have picked the other option of use headers as first row. Yes. And so we'll go ahead and save it just because I'm doing the demo. So let's put cars report. And the destination workspace, my workspace is the only one for this demo, but if you were using this in the workplace, you might have 2 or 3, at least 2 to choose from. It depends on your position in the company, whether you're an analyst or a user, someone that can view only on the report. So now if I click back to recent, there's my nice new cars report that I can look at again and play with. Cars table, so it did create the data set to underlie it, which there's a report. So obviously multiple reports can be based on a single data set. And so that's the basics. You can see it's easy to get in. And if you want to share a report, now we'll talk. Now dashboards is another feature that you could post your report to a particular dashboard, and then everyone who has access to that dashboard can see them, because some people just want to see the report. Not everybody is busy creating the reports. And so here we get an interesting pop-up. So now we know that there's a Power BI Pro is an upgrade license, and we can try it free for 60 days, which I'm not going to do just for this 15-minute one. However, it does let me copy the link, email it to someone, or share it to Teams. People with existing access. And you can see the other options that would not be greyed out if we had the Pro license in the organisation of specific people. So even without that, so I think that gives you a good view of how easy it is to get started, and there are so many samples to look at, lots of training shared. And so let's just quickly go back to the PowerPoint slides and wrap this up because time is moving on. So just to recap the BI content, if you've got some data, clean it. And luckily for us, all I had to do to clean ours was give a column name to avoid that error with the column headers. Create some compelling, wonderful visualizations and then share them with whoever you want to share them with. Keep them private, internal to your business, or share them with the world. And hopefully you come up with some useful data, or data transformed into information where the insights just pop out of the visualization and people can make some good decisions or be inspired to innovate. based on that. So the building blocks are data sets. You can use other apps or templates that other people have created to get started, or you can start from scratch. You can create the visualizations, whether it's a chart, bar chart, all the different line charts, that you're used to seeing as we've been going through this course. Dashboards are a place like a menu. A dashboard is like the menu. You go and share reports there, and there might be, say, a finance department dashboard, an HR dashboard, where they get to see what's relevant to their businesses. And again, just to clarify, you saw that we went into just directly in the browser, we're logged into the BI service, but there is an option to download, direct download, or the Microsoft Store, to get the desktop version or the mobile version, and so again, you can work offline. And if you feel like that's something you need, I like to imagine that the wildlife department we looked at had some devices with the desktop downloaded or the mobile app downloaded on there, because even if they couldn't always be connected out in the woods and rivers, they could still do some useful work. I did, at the time of recording, the list of supported data sources here, it did list 80, including the obvious, Azure's own SQL data warehouse, Azure Cosmos DB. It did have Spark and PostgreSQL that we've used in class, Excel of course. So quite simply, through the desktop app or directly through the browser with the Power BI Cloud service, you connect through to your data sources and have fun creating wonderful, fantastic charts and diagrams, and try to make meaning of the data and turn it into information. So in conclusion, I hope I've shown you Power BI is easy to get started. There's support for many data source types, which is a plus. A big plus for big data. You saw the licensing varies, but it is a serious business offering from a major tech company. So that's something you would have to look into if you wanted to, what level you needed to pay for. And no doubt a Microsoft rep would help you with that. So Power BI is an important player with a big market share that can compete with the other data tools and can definitely be used with big data. So go ahead and try it. Thank you.